applied to go on reality television. I know it sounds crazy, but I did. And I actually applied to go on a couple reality television shows, and I want to just have that conversation about it, because I know it probably, like, you're hearing me say this and you're like, why in the world would you apply to go on reality TV? You just don't seem like the type that would do that. And that is why we're talking about it today. So welcome back to another episode of the Keenya Kelly podcast, where we talk about all things life, business, therapy, all the things you can possibly think of that involve me and my life. And today I wanted to have a conversation about reality TV and why I decided to apply to the shows that I applied to. So if you are new to my podcast, most people know me because I teach people how to make money online, social media, but there is so much to Keenya, the person, and let's dive into it a little bit, and then we'll get into, the show I applied to. I think it's going to surprise you when you hear what I say, but we'll get into it. So I have always known that I would be on TV. It was just a thing that I wanted to do, knew that I would do, and I just knew that was something I was going to do. And so, I've been going after being an actress for quite some time. Not saying I want to act on, you'll hear me. And so TV was always a desire of mine, just always, And I think that the desire to go on TV, maybe that stopped when I met my ex-husband. I don't really know why that is the case. If I had to, this may not be true, but if I had to say why I think it is, it's because I think that I got with him and I was so comfortable with trying to create whatever a life would look like for us versus always going after what I had always dreamt of going after. It's kind of crazy when I say that, but I really think that that's really what was happening. But I had always wanted to be on television. I wanted to have my own TV show and all this type of stuff. And when reality TV came about, I was like, I don't think I want to do that. You know what I mean? Because I'm a complex person. I, like everybody else, I have strengths and weaknesses. I have things I want to be seen on TV, and I have things that I don't want to be seen on TV. All the things, And so when I started kind of watching TV shows like Flavor of Love and The Real World and all those shows, I was like, I don't think I ever would want to do reality TV. And then after getting married and going through divorce, and then just kind of honestly struggling with dating, I've kind of been like, oh man, I wonder if maybe going on reality shows would help. Like whether I meet somebody a part of the cast, I meet somebody a part of the Netflix crew, or I meet somebody because they see me on the show and they sign into my DMs. Like, I don't know. Like, I just allowed myself to just be kind of open about it. But I never applied to the shows until when I started building a personal brand on TikTok, teaching people how to use TikTok to grow their business and all that. Companies started to reach out. Like Bumble flew me to Austin, Texas for an entire day to film a series called Dating After Divorce. And, I never wanted to be the divorce lady, but I watched, what was happening as a result of being a part of that campaign. And the more that I just kind of talked about my life and all that on social media, the more I just started seeing like opportunities that could come about. And so in 2020, I had a bunch of shows reach out to me. I think, because they never said what the name of the show was, I think that one of the shows was Dating and Related, because they wanted to see if I would have someone in my family come on a show with me. There was also a show for people who were older, I guess in their 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, that would have a teenager in their home that would go on a show with them. I was also approached by a show that wanted to do a documentary about me, my ex-husband, and his ex-wives to see if I would want to go on that journey. And I was like, good Lord. So I was being approached by so many TV shows, the more that I kept talking about my life and me and all that type of stuff. And then I think I had Too Hot to Handle reach out to me. They never said what the name of the show was, but I really feel like that it was Too Hot to Handle that reached out to me. And then I think Love Island reached out to me. So I had a lot of shows reaching out to me. And I really, really think that those were the shows. But the more that I spoke to them, I was like, this doesn't fit with me. But then 21 maybe, was it 21? I think it was 21. Married at First Sight reached out to me. And they were casting for San Diego. And I was at the time preparing to move to San Diego. And so they got me on a call. I think they had me on a couple of calls. And actually, Married at First Sight reached out to me twice in 2 different directions about the San Diego one. And my thought process was, I don't think I want to be married at first sight, because the last thing I want to experience is 2 divorces under my belt. I already got the one. The last thing I want to experience is 2 under my belt. But I said that I was open to the process of doing the video calls, eventually doing a video call with the team, and then seeing where it could go from there. But I never made it past like the 2nd or 3rd round or something like that. They make it past them. And, but that made me like curious about what show would I be willing to go on. And the show that I would be willing to go on is definitely Love is Blind. Because with Love is Blind, you just meet people. Like, you're meeting people through the pod and you're just talking and talking and talking and talking. And I love talking. I love asking hard questions. I love answering hard questions. And I really could just see myself flourishing on Love is Blind. Now, I also could see myself flourishing with the people at home. I think that people would enjoy me, my humor, how much therapy I've done in terms of what my conversation would be. I don't think that I would be someone that would give them any kind of drama. I really don't. But I do think that I would add a level of level-headedness maybe to the show. But that's not the show that I actually applied to. The show you're going to be like, what? The show I actually applied to happened during my surgery. So when I had my surgery at the end of last year, before I had it, I posted on social and said, what show should I watch? And everybody was giving me their recommendations on all the shows that I would watch. And one of the shows that I watched, I was like, I don't really know if I'll be into this. And I watched Squid Games, right? Squid Games, a challenge. And basically, I think it was like 300 people, it's a lot of people, and you play these games, and you're like red light, green light in some of these games, and you have to do all these things and try to win at the end and be the last person standing, and you would win millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? And I watched this show. I was hooked on this show. I mean, I was watching it like a hawk. You know what I mean? And at the end, when the final episode, you're able to apply to be on this show. And immediately I applied for this show. Immediately. And I want to tell you why I decided to apply for Squid Games. So I decided to apply because, first off, you win a lot of money. I mean, a lot. Yes, the government is going to take half, but you win a lot of money when you win this show just for playing games. Okay? Like, just for playing games. Second thing is that I said, this is an opportunity to get in front of producers, casting directors, and all that who do other shows, right? Because like, I could apply for this, make it through 1-2 rounds or whatever of casting, whatever it is, or onto the show, and they could actually see me and want to have me on other things. You know what I mean? Because I've always wanted to do things on TV. It's just what I've always wanted to do. But also, I said I could get actually onto the show and I could win the money. I could make a bunch of friends. Obviously, it would be good for social media. Like that wouldn't be my motivation. Wouldn't be to become an influencer. I've already built some influence. But because of the influence I already have, I think there's an opportunity that it could grow even more. And so that would be pretty darn awesome, and I said, this is just great exposure. Like, it really is good exposure. Now, I would be 100% in for the win to win the money. But at the end of the day, there's so many different layers that can come from being on a show like that. Now, I decided to go with Squid Games because it doesn't require exposing my family. Like, my family's not going to be plastered on TV. They don't have to go visit my family in their hometown. Like, they don't have to know my ex-husband or ex-boyfriends. You don't have to know any of that stuff. We don't have to talk about all the complexities of life that I wouldn't want to share on TV. None of that has to happen in Squid Games challenge. None of it has to happen during that challenge. And I am like, this is the perfect one for me because I would want to win the money. I'm very competitive, and I would just do my darndest to make sure that I could do my best in this challenge, Now, but I know that, like, when you think about what reality TV show would I apply for, like that one to you, I'm sure you're like, why in the world would she do that? And I'm definitely in it for the money. I will be definitely in it to win the money, honey. But I do think that there's other opportunities that could come along with it. I think that Married at First Sight, I think they've already been in Houston, but I would not marry somebody at first sight, so I couldn't do that. Too Hot to Handle, I'm not promiscuous. Listen, let me clarify. When they bring somebody on Too Hot to Handle, it is because these people are like professed, I sleep around, I'm with everybody, I'm gonna steal your man. That's like the premise, okay? So that's not me. So this show doesn't make sense for me. Love Island, I don't really know how I feel about that. I like watching Love Island, but I wouldn't put myself out there like that. Plus, 99% of the people on Love Island don't have my body type. Like, I'm fit, girl. The girl is on a quest to lose 50 pounds. And people on Love Island don't need to lose 50 pounds. Like, they probably need to eat a burger, but they don't need to lose 50 pounds. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't go on that show. I wouldn't even go on The Bachelor because most people on The Bachelor are like the same, you know what I mean? I'm just not my show or whatever. But I definitely would do good Squid Games. If Love is Blind came back to Houston, which I don't think that they will, I would definitely apply for Love is Blind, or any kind of show where they're looking for. I would go on like The Trust. The Trust is a good one. The Mole, that's a good one. There's some other ones I would go on, but the dating ones I probably wouldn't do because I'm not marrying nobody, I'm not sleeping with nobody and all that type of stuff. But I am curious, which show did you think I was gonna say that I applied to, and which show do you think I should go on? Like, I know I said what I said, but which show did you think I applied to, and then which show do you think I should go on? I'm curious. You can tell me here in the comments on YouTube, or if you are on the podcast, come on Instagram and tell me, screenshot the episode and tell me what show you think I should be on. And we'll see. I'm going to keep pitching. I mean, I love TV. I want to be on TV. I want to play games and do all types of stuff on TV for sure. So that will be a lot of fun. So hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you are listening to the podcast, please write a review. I haven't had a new review in like a year. And so I would love a review. Okay, so thank you so much for listening and watching.